Bluff Street traffic stalled due to rollover. Utah legislators approve extension of tourism program. And your daily weather forecast coming up with highs, lows, and everything you need to know for the days ahead.
You're watching St. George News at 5, brought to you by our studio sponsor, We Win Injury Law.
Good afternoon, I'm Monica McLaughlin. Traffic on Bluff Street near East Riverside Drive came to a standstill for over an hour Wednesday evening after a pickup truck crossed the median, hit another vehicle, and rolled onto its side. For more on how the crash unfolded and what officials are saying about the incident, here's Eric George Gould.
Rush hour traffic was backed up on Bluff Street for over an hour on Wednesday evening after a pickup truck crossed the median, struck an oncoming SUV, and slid to a stop on its side. St. George police officer Tiffany Mitchell told St. George News that the driver of a Ford Ranger realized he was in the wrong lane, overcorrected, and caused the vehicle to cross the median. The Ranger struck an oncoming Ford Expedition, Mitchell said, and rolled over onto its side. No injuries were reported, Mitchell said, although she noted that the driver of the Ford Ranger received a citation.
Thanks, Eric. Utah's Tourism Board will continue its work through 2030 after lawmakers extended funding for the state's out-of-state marketing efforts. Here's Stephanie DeGraw for more on how this decision impacts tourism and economic development in Southwest Utah.
Utah's tourism train got the green light to continue down the track with an extension to July 2030 rather than expire this year. The House approved a bill for the state's tourism program, which manages out-of-state marketing. The Utah Tourism Board assists in coordinating activities that promote tourism, and they advise on planning strategies. Senator Jen Plum, who sponsored the bill, had this to say.
They essentially approve a tourism program for out-of-state marketing, review tourism office programs, assist in coordinating activities with entities who promote tourism, advise the office on planning, strategies, cooperative programs, and then also advise on the allocation of motion picture incentive funds, at least as of this year, 2025.
Enoch resident Ellen Gray celebrated her 100th birthday surrounded by family, friends, and neighbors at a festive gathering filled with memories and music. We'll go to Jeff Richards for more on her journey and the wisdom she shared with younger generations.
Ellen Gray celebrated her 100th birthday in Enoch on Saturday. Dozens of people attended the lunchtime party, including all of Gray's 6 living children and their descendants, along with many other family members and friends. After greeting the well-wishers and handing out pocket calendars, Gray spoke to Cedar City News about the milestone.
Well, there isn't really much of anything that keeps up or makes up for experience, I guess. And when you've had that many years, you've seen a lot and done a lot. I've made my mistakes, and everybody else does too. But we're coming out pretty good. I'm just so thrilled with this family and what they've done with this. I can't believe it. I never had a birthday party, I don't think, in my whole life. I never thought I'd live this long. I hoped, for it. I says, well, if I get to be 100, that's okay. I'm just fine then. I can just go and be happy, Anyway, it has, my doctor kept telling me and say, well, you're healthy because I know you'll live to be 100. And so I just accepted that, and I try to live a good life and do things that I know I need to do, and it's working.
Thanks, Jeff. Now we'll take a look at your daily weather forecast, brought to you by Casablanca Resort and Casino. Right now, it's mostly sunny and 68 in St. George. Tonight, expect a low of 53, while temperatures warming up to 68 tomorrow before dipping to 42 overnight. In Mesquite, a wind advisory remains in effect until 8 p.m. Friday, with south to southwest winds reaching 15 to 25 miles per hour and gusts up to 45 miles per hour. Drivers, especially those in high-profile vehicles, should use caution, and residents should secure any loose outdoor objects. Right now, conditions are mostly sunny with a current temperature of 70 degrees. Tonight, expect a low of 56 degrees with a high of 73 tomorrow and a low of 45 to end the day. Meanwhile, in Cedar City, a wind advisory is in effect from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Friday, with southwest winds ranging from 25 to 35 miles per hour and gusts up to 55 miles per hour. Strong crosswinds may impact east-west roads, with isolated gusts reaching 60 miles per hour in exposed areas. Right now, it's mostly sunny and 53. Tonight, lows will be around 45, with tomorrow's high reaching 52 before dropping to 29 overnight. Region 9 basketball is heating up as the boys' title race comes down to the final game, while the Snow Canyon girls look to complete a perfect season. For all the highlights and what's next as teams prepare for the playoffs, here's Aaron Crane with your local sports update.
The battle for the Region 9 boys basketball title comes down to the final game of the regular season. Hurricane stunned Crimson Cliffs with a 59-55 upset, while Pineview pulled off a dramatic 41-39 comeback over Cedar. Those results set up a showdown Friday night. If Crimson wins, they take home the title outright. If Pineview wins, they'll share the championship. Elsewhere, Dixie rolled past Snow Canyon, 58-35, improving their RPI ranking ahead of Saturday's final playoff seeding announcement. The Region 9 season wraps up Friday night with key matchups that will determine the final standings. With the Region 9 girls basketball season winding down, Tuesday night's matchup saw dominant performances across the board. Snow Canyon continued its undefeated run with a 68-46 win over Dixie, while Hurricane secured a 58-46 victory over Crimson Cliffs. Cedar wrapped up its regular season with a 52-42 win over Pineview, ensuring at least a tie for the second place in the region standings. Snow Canyon already locked up the Region 9 title and will look to complete a perfect season Thursday night against Hurricane. Final games before the 4A state playoffs tip off this weekend. Now back to you, Monica.
Thanks, Aaron. Now we'll head over to Sheldon and Amy for your favorite weekend adventure guide.
That's right, so many great events happening this weekend. There's a jazz festival.
And the 9th annual St. George Jazz Festival is happening this weekend.
If you love jazz music, that's where you want to go. And if you love other music, Groophonics is playing at Blues Cats this weekend too.
That's going to be great. Speaking of this weekend, it's the big game.
The big game. There's watch parties everywhere. The Virgin River has got a big old watch party over there. The Hive 435's got a watch party. So many watch parties. Just find something to go watch it and eat some good food while you're doing it. To see the full list of weekend events here, TGI Felicity on stgeorgenews.com.
Now back to you in the studio.
Thank you for watching St. George News at 5. To learn more about our studio sponsor, We Win Injury Law, go to wewininjurylaw.com. I'm Monica McLaughlin with St. George News, your #1 source for local news.
This has been St. George News at 5, brought to you by We Win Injury Law.